Time for Thought Shifting Thursdays.
Hello.
And today we are talking about opening the heart. So I'll start this time just because this was inspired by a heart opening experience I had last night. We had together, kind of. And I won't say what the
Medicine was.
yeah, the method of delivery for this heart opening experience, but I'll just talk a little bit about something on my forehead here.
Do you? No? Great hair.
That's not important, is it?
It's great hair.
So I'll just the bottom line is at the end of this heart opening experience, I just thought I just want to call everyone I know and tell them how much I care about them. And I started texting because calling takes longer, and you never get anybody live now. So
You don't.
I'm going to get to calling some people too. Hi, Naomi.
Hi.
And I don't know. I don't think I got Naomi yet, but you're on the list of people I care about. Welcome, Marianne Lockhart. Hi. Good to see you too. So. So yeah, just contacting people I care about and telling them I care about. It's one thing to, we kind of know who cares about us and who doesn't, but to hear it, to read it, to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
The feedback I'm getting, I started doing it last night. I'm realizing what a project this is, how many people I care about. It's like, it's so massive, right? It could take a year to get to everyone. Um, but the feedback I'm getting, it's creating amazing conversations just from a little text, right? And one of my clients actually booked a session, and it wasn't my intention to drum up business, but she said in her response to me, she said a friend of hers said her business went from 30,000 to 100,000 overnight just by doing this one thing, calling people to ask how they're doing, not to get business, right? And that's the point of it. And I don't want to make this about getting business, right? But that's a side effect, right? It's really about opening our hearts, right?
And opening other people's hearts. It
Yes,
sounds like.
it's contagious, isn't it?
Mm.
So what do you want to say about this?
I'm still glowing.
Okay.
I'm processing. It's beautiful to know that you are one with everyone, that we are connected somehow, that our souls are one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got out of the experience myself. Yes, there's love, yes, but the main thing, it was connectivity with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it created, yes, a lot more love and compassion for people. There is a very good friend of the family that had his son, he lost his son on Saturday in an automobile accident.
11-year-old son.
11-year-old boy. And that really touched me.
Yeah.
And that was part of my experience, just connecting with this child and realizing all that he's going to be missing. And it also reminded me that death is just another way, that we shouldn't be afraid of it, and that we still can connect with our loved ones somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right in my memorial service. That very specific point, right? In fact, in a way, what I say in the memorial service is, in a way, we can connect even more when someone's no longer in physical form. Because, did you ever meet his son?
Well,
Maybe a couple times.
I used to work with my parents selling it at a swap meet in LA. I worked there for 5 years. And Güero used to bring his son with him since he was 2 years old, 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw him grow up, and then I see his photos on the Facebook and Instagram. So I've seen this boy grow up, and he loves him so much, and he's gone, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't, the fact that we can connect with people at an even deeper level once they're gone, because we no longer have the physical constraints of connecting, right? Just how difficult it is for me to send a text to all people I care about.
Yeah.
When someone passes, though, I mean, my good friend, Brown, I mean, we're brothers,
Right.
passed a year ago, and we're still connecting. We connect every time I say his name, talking about him with other people.
Yeah.
We're connected. My teacher is interesting. My first spiritual teacher, Dr. Barnum, who was the wisest man I ever met. I still meet people in our movements, Centers for Spiritual Living, who knew him, or he taught their teacher, or he was just he was one of the pioneers of this movement. And I'll always say, when I'm in the presence of someone who also knew him, and we start talking about him, when two or more gathered in his name, he shows up. Just feel his presence instantly.
Yes.
Felt it right now, right? So that's how quick it can be.
Yes.
But it doesn't change when we lose someone how devastating it can be, right?
Yeah.
Especially when a parent loses a child.
Yes.
My mother, who my father died when I was 7. He was 42. It was really hard for her. I mean, she was depressed for such a long time.
Sure. Yeah.
And
But it also makes you appreciate today.
living, right?
Living and not waiting around for that thing to come. Go do it.
Yeah.
Live fully right now, because you don't know when you're going to be gone.
I know.
So.
Miss you too, Naomi. Hugs to you. Hugs back to you. And here's what I want to say to you, to Naomi, and any of my friends who are watching this. I care about you deeply. I care about you deeply. It's not just that, everyone that I am reaching out to are people that I think about, on a regular basis. Some of them are clients. I consider all of my clients friends, even though professionally speaking, that's not what you're supposed to do, but I can't help it. I love these people, I care about them.
Yes.
How can you care about someone and have them not be a friend? And so many people are going through so many challenges right now. Our culture is just kind of off the wheels a little bit, with people just so busy and the opposite of heart-opening experiences, right? It just life is becoming oppressive for so many people. That's another thing that came out for me last night, is I realized that I'm so busy that that even though I feel I'm a pretty hard-open guy, it could be more. When I'm talking to my clients, what hit me is, I ask how people are doing, and we get into a lot of deep emotional stuff at times, but sometimes I feel like there's our little heart opener. Toby.
I see.
Hey, buddy.
Toby.
Just when I ask how people are, how much am I really inviting the depth of their feelings, right? It's so common. How are you doing? I'm good. How are you?
People don't seem to have a lot of time.
Yeah.
For deep conversations anymore.
Yeah. I reached out to our good friend Rabin in Alberta. Had responded to a joke that I sent him on Messenger, and so he was one of the people I care about, and I sent him that message. I deeply care about you.
Yes.
And he wrote back and said, yeah, we think about you all the time. I said, yeah, I think about calling you all the time, and I'm going to very soon, and let's do it tonight.
Okay.
So, gosh. We're just finished watching the last episode of this show called Resident Alien. And it's a really fun show to watch on Netflix. And we don't find a show that we both really like that often. We've watched it all the way through. and this resident alien who doesn't, starts out not having emotions and learning from his experience, the message is just becoming. You see how he becomes more and more humanized, and the last episode
Starts caring.
yeah,
Right,
and one of the messages, humans become stronger by supporting each other, by reaching out to each other, by being there for each other when someone passes away. It makes them stronger. The opposite of his race, which don't have feelings, right?
Right.
His species. So, highly recommend the show. It's a lot of fun. And it's got a beautiful message, that really is very sparsely woven through I think it's 4 seasons, right? But then when it comes to this last season, it's really starting to hit home about how important these connections are, right? So my charge to you, my invitation to you is we've said this in several videos, but it's coming from an even more heartful place today. Reach out to someone you care about, whether it's a text or a phone call.
Allow some time, not just in passing. Really, really connect.
Yeah, if you can, but even if you can't, meaningful conversations can come out of what I've just found, experience is out of a simple text message, and that may lead to a phone conversation, and as it is with Robin and Trish tonight,
Yes.
assuming they're home, and they usually are.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll get them, we'll nail them down. But that's what I said to my client today, who said, about the person who increased her business by calling it, as I said, it's tough to get people live, right? And then I thought, even a voicemail might be more personal
Then a text or
right.
an email. Yes.
unless you're calling a millennial or a Gen Z whose voicemail box are always full.
Because they don't
It's a
answer.
generalization, but it's what I've found most
Yes.
of the time. So text seems to be a pretty effective way to at least as an initial way to reach out.
Yes. Mhm.
So anyway, just anyone that is watching this video today, even if we don't know you well, we care about you because we are all connected, and
Yes.
we're connected by virtue of you writing, you watching this. In one of my books I wrote, it's an unpublished one yet, but that in some way when I'm writing a book, readers feel connected to me when they're reading the book. In some magical way, I feel connected to all my readers. That reminds me. There's been a couple times when I've reached out to someone randomly, and they said, "I was just reading your book." What a trip that is, right? So we're all connected in so many ways. There's so many synchronicities that happen when our heart is open,
Yes.
when we're coming from a loving place. And what that means for me, one of the things that came to me is, I practice non-judgment all the time, and yet I still am judging all the time. So our battery's running out, and we've been talking a bit, so that's it for today. And we love you guys. If you got something out of this, please share it with a friend, and share your love with your friends too. And we welcome all comments and likes. All right, take care. See you
Bye.
next week.